A split this week for Fort Hays State basketball. Wins on Thursday, losses Saturday. We'll talk about it next. Good evening and welcome once again to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock with you as we talk Fort Hays State basketball. We're joined by women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson. Both teams coming off splits at home this week, winning Thursday against Lincoln and then losing on Saturday to Lindenwood. We'll talk all about that and preview a couple of road games against rivalry schools. Wednesday night, the Tigers traveling to Emporia, White Auditorium to take on Emporia State. And then it's Lee Arena on Saturday night against the Washburn Ichabod. The program brought to you again today by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers on North Vine and Hayes. The taste that brings you back. We will take our first break. When we come back, women's coach Tony Hobson will join us right here on Tiger Talk.
Around here, we believe in local values like hard work, family time, or a fair price on reliable internet from a local company. That's why Eagle Communications delivers great local values, like a range of internet options to fit your family's needs. Fast and consistent enough to power everyone's devices at once. All at reasonable prices we're proud to offer our friends and neighbors. Ready for better internet? Give us a call or visit eaglecom.net and discover our local values today.
And welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock, joined by women's coach Tony Hobson. The program brought to you again today by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers and Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail in Hayes. Of course, they've got the great coffee to get your day started, a meal for every hour of the day, and of course, take advantage of great drive-through. They're 27th and Indian Trail. It's Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. Tiger women split at home, a win Thursday over Lincoln that snapped a two-game skid, but then a frustrating loss, I guess you might call it, one thing you might call it, on Saturday to Lindenwood, losing to the Lions. So I guess disappointing end of the week. Obviously, the win over Lincoln, as we I think talked after the game, a step forward, played a little bit better than you had been, but then kind of let it all get back on Saturday and kind of leaves a little bad taste in your mouth after the weekend.
Well, it does. We needed to get both of those games, and I thought we got off to a reasonable start Thursday. Played okay against a team that's given some people problems from time to time. You know, they're unorthodox, they're hard to guard, very good one-on-one players. And I thought we played okay. I mean, for the first three quarters especially, we were defending well and ran the floor, and I liked what I saw. And then I just thought Thursday Saturday then, the second game, we just could not get a basket when we needed one. I mean, we were getting good shots, but we could not get one to go in. But it probably shouldn't have came to that, but it did. And when it came down to it, we just did not shoot the ball well enough to win that game.
You shook up the lineup Thursday. It seemed to work, got you a spark offensively, a 15-0 run in the first half, and it seemed like you'd been really having to play from behind a lot, really since the first of the year. You kind of mixed things up a little bit and got you off to a better start. And you had to protect the lead the rest of the day, but it's kind of a little bit different situation on Thursday than you'd been in quite a while.
Well, I was just so tired of trying to battle back the whole game, and so we tried to, maybe put in a little bit better offensive punch to start the game, and I thought Carly played a good game on Thursday, and she was one of the kids we put in there, and she's just so steady, and she shoots a high percentage, she gets to the basket, makes her free throws, and also does a good job of defending and getting us in the offense. So that was what I was thinking there. Really, with taking Jill out of the lineup, it wasn't so much, it wasn't a punishment type of thing or anything like that. We're just trying to get Jill going. Yeah. And really Thursday and even Saturday, she showed signs of being the Jill that we know, and I think it's helped her. And another thing is the attitude with which she accepted it. She, you know, her response was, you know, this is a good idea, Coach. Now, I've never had a kid that you take out of the starting lineup, you know, especially a senior, that said that to me. So you know that she just wants to win games and she wants to play better, and I thought she did a good job off of the bench both nights.
I was going to bring that point up. Not always easy for the person losing a starting role, but really couldn't tell a difference and has really played a lot better the last couple of games, double figures in both. Saturday, very entertaining, back and forth. I think they hit last-second shots at the end of the first quarter and right before halftime to take a 2-point lead. They had a 2-point lead after 3, and then, boy, it escalated quickly, if you will. They go on a 14-0 run to start that fourth quarter, and before you knew it, you're in a 16-point hole.
Yeah, and like you said, it was back and forth the whole game, and I had several people ask me, how has that team not won more games?
Yeah.
And I don't know if we just bring the best out in people or what, but I don't think they have. I think they have one player that shoots over 30% from the three-point line, and they had it seemed like every one they had, every open shot they hit. So they made some big shots, and we were unable to counter that. And then that little run they had, 2 or 3 transition baskets, a couple of missed threes that long rebounds, you know, are the greatest outlet pass in the world if they get them. So we just, you know, I couldn't get a timeout fast enough to get that stopped, and I'm not sure that would have stopped it anyway. But just that one little run, that was the game. And
still had time to come back. You made a little run. I think you got it to 5, but as you said, had some good looks during your comeback bid. The ball wouldn't drop, and sometimes you know, that's the way it goes sometimes in basketball. So that drives you crazy.
Yeah. Well, it'll kill me eventually, and I'm just hoping. I got a few games left to coach, but yeah, I think the last 7 minutes when we were trying to chase them down, and you know, we held them without a basket for 5 or 6 minutes.
6.5.
I think they got to the line a few times, but we had as we were watching the film, as I was watching it, we had three good looks from the 3 line by good shooters, go in and out, and we missed 3 out of 4 free throws. So, you know, if you can just get a couple of those threes to go, make your free throws, then instead of, you know, a 5-point, you're right there, or you're up a couple, and it's a different ballgame. But you just have to be able to make those shots, and we're just having a hard time finding somebody that can make that big shot for us right now.
You know, the Tigers get a really tough challenge this week, back to rivalry week as they hit the road Wednesday night in Emporia and then Saturday evening in Topeka to take on Washburn. We'll talk about it when we return right after this.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Welcome back. Gerard Wellbrock, head coach Tony Hobson, as we continue on Tiger Talk, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro. And of course, Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes. Delicious cook-to-order food, rich, creamy frozen custard, churned fresh throughout the day. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, it's the taste that brings you back. Tough week this week for Fort Hays State. On the road, Wednesday in Emporia, Saturday in Topeka with Washburn. And obviously, this is a key point for your squad right now. One game over 500 in conference play. You go on the road. 2 of the generally upper echelon teams that battle for a conference championship. And obviously, we know all about Emporia State and what they have done. So this is a kind of a crossroads week, if you will, for your squad. But good news is you've played these 2 teams pretty well over the years. So hopefully your team should have some confidence going into this one, even though they had the taste of Saturday.
Well, we know we can beat them because we already have once this year. They were both really tight games. They're both really good teams. Yeah. Emporia has not been beaten at home yet. They've lost 3 games, but all of them on the road. Last time we played at Emporia was 2 years ago. We did beat them, but we beat everybody that year. It seemed like. So, you know, they're going to be. The fact that they lost here will give them some added incentive, and they'll be ready to play. And they lost a game last week in overtime, so they're going to be hungry. So it'll be a test, and we're just going to, you know, especially with us, with our confidence being a little hurt and we're not shooting the ball well, we're going to have to really be mentally tough to go in there and win a game. So, and again, I definitely want to win, but I want to play well. And it's been 4 or 5 games since I thought we really had just a good, solid 40-point or 40-minute performance, and that's what we need there, both nights. But it starts on Wednesday.
Talk about Emporia, and I think it starts with Moten. And the game in Hayes, you went 1 of 9. You never really let her get into a rhythm, get into a flow, and it seems like when they need something, she can just take over a game, and that's probably going to be the challenge again on Wednesday.
Well, it will be, and I'm just hoping that she forgets the last game we played here, because she didn't score until 2 minutes left in the third quarter or something like that. And it was one of those games where, you know, she's a selfish or an unselfish player, and sometimes maybe too unselfish. And I think she was deferring to some teammates and wasn't pressing the issue, and I was happy about that, because, boy, she can just disrupt you so many ways. Going to the basket, she can make a 3, good free throw shooter, and she just penetrates and kicks, and so, you know, she's probably the best player in our league, or if not, one of the top 2 or 3, and she has been for the last 3 years. So she'll just be a kid we have to try to contain and not just go berserk on us. And if we can do that, I think we have a chance to win. You
guys are the top 2 rebounding teams in the conference, and it's always interesting when you play against a team that's right up there with you. But that becomes key. You gotta hold your ground in that regard, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because you both do a good job, and both on the offensive end.
Well, we get a lot of offensive rebounds because we miss so many shots.
That's a good point.
And we have a lot of opportunities to get those. So, you know, that's part of it. And some of our misses are so bad they bounce out there a long ways, or lately. But I think we both kind of play the same way. We emphasize going to the boards and hustling, and we both have kids that play hard and are rough, and I think that's what rebounding is just a lot of want to, and who's going to get the ball. And they're just so much better at home, just like a lot of people are. And so we'll have to at least hold our own on the boards. We can't get dominated on the boards and win that game.
Nope, it'll certainly be interesting. Wednesday night at White Auditorium, always fun. Fort Hays State and Emporia State. Coach, we appreciate the time, and we'll see you Wednesday in Emporia.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
That's Coach Tony Hobson of the Tiger Women. Again, 5:30 tip on Wednesday night in Emporia, and then they'll have a 5 o'clock game on Saturday against Washburn in Topeka. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll talk men's basketball as Mark Johnson joins us, and we'll do it right after this.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here.
It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM. Do you believe in love? Story.
Well, 94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Wellbrock joined now by men's basketball coach Mark Johnson. Program brought to you by Mocha's Coffee Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail. And, of course, by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. They got the great steak burgers and, of course, the great frozen custard ensured fresh throughout the day. Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. North Vine and Hayes, the taste that brings you back. Fort Hays State, a split this week. Beat Lincoln in overtime on Thursday night, and then a tough one against Lindenwood on Saturday, losing to the Lions. And let's go back to Thursday night. A very talented, very good Lincoln squad. Preseason 4th in the conference, have been playing pretty well. And we talked about it a little bit last week, probably the two the best backcourt combination in the MIAA, and it was a heck of a basketball game, and you guys found a way to win it in overtime. It was a fun game.
Yeah, I thought we did a very good job on those two guys. I mean, I see one was 7 of 19, one was 5 of 14. They still got 19 points apiece, but they had to take a lot of shots to do it. Really did a nice job. Our guards did a good job who were guarding him, but also I thought Jaquan changed the shots and made it difficult for him. And really, Jaquan had his best game as a Tiger. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, changed a lot of shots. And then we just came up with some big plays down the stretch. Rob didn't have one of his best games, but he hit a couple important threes, and then Hadley in overtime hit that jump shot to tie it, and then hit the 2 free throws at the end to win the game.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, both teams were obviously locked in. You guys put your emphasis on their 2 top guards, and then they were obviously concerned with Rob. And it was hard for really all 3, which were the top 3 scorers in the MIAA, to get on track. Finally did, but I thought Rob maybe had a little bit more impact, because when he got on that little stretch, it kind of gave you a little bit of momentum boost.
Yeah, I mean, he had struggled all night, and then he just found a way. I think he made 2 deep threes and was kind of trying to get to the basket late and got a lot of his points. You know, in the important time of the game, you know, we played tremendous defense. We held a team that I think is a pretty good offensive team to 38% for the game and guarded really well. We struggled really all week offensively. I think we shot 39% in both games, and at our level, you have a hard time winning to win games when you do that. But we showed enough on the defensive end and rebounding to find a way to get it done by shooting that percentage against Lincoln. Just didn't quite have enough energy to be able to do it the next time out against Lindenwood.
Yeah, one thing lost in that game, you were down, I think, 6 or 7 to Lincoln and go on a big run. And one of the key plays, Rob gets an offensive rebound from his free throw, and I think kicked it out to Kyler for a 3-pointer. He does a lot of scoring, he does a lot of things, but he does a lot of things on the defense and things like that too.
Yeah, I mean, when he's fresh, I mean, the big thing with him as the season goes on, we just play him. So he pretty much played the whole game in overtime. But yeah, we need him to do so much for us and not only score. He's one of our better creators. It allows other people to get shots, and you know, then that's another big, like you said, a big play that he had for Kyler, and that was an important shot for Kyler. I think he had missed one right before that. So you know, we're just having a hard time offensively right now, and we have to win with defense, and we were able to do that against Lincoln.
Saturday against Lindenwood, good first half. Despite poor shooting, you're up by 3, held them to 25, really locked in, but then obviously the second half, not what you needed to do. They shoot over 50% and score 46 points.
Yeah, you know, kind of different, I think, from the Missouri Western game. You go back, you know, you felt like you won the game really in the last 5 minutes, first half. Because it allowed you to come back. Really, this one, to me, we lost the game in the second half. We didn't guard very well. They scored it too easily. But really, the first half is what killed us. We played so hard and did such a great job. We held them to 28%. And here you are on your home floor. You hold your opponent to 28%, and you're only up 3. You know, that's you got to be up 12 to 14, and then you just kind of hang on in the second half and handle their runs and their wave. But we just were so poor offensively, couldn't make shots. Rob got in foul trouble, sat out, I think, half of the first half, and really our offensive woes just really hurt us. And then we came out the second half and didn't have the same effort that we have to have. They got to the lane off the drive too much. Obviously, the offensive rebounds really hurt us in second chance points in the second half. So that was a disappointing loss. One of the more, you know, I'd probably say it was the most disappointing loss of the season so far.
Triggs, who was a good football player for them, tied for the MIAA lead in interceptions, really kind of down the stretch when you were still battling in there and it was a tight game. He kind of just took over, had some huge offensive rebounds and sticks backs for them.
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy in the world, but he, you know, he's strong, and he just really out-toughed us and out-athleted us down the stretch of the game. And he had an important 3 also besides the drives to the basket. He had a couple plays where he dropped him off, and then he had, you know, at least, what do you have, 3 or 4 offensive rebounds late in the second half, and he was really the difference. I mean, also it helped him that number 14, a kid who was 5 of 32 from 3 in the season, comes out and makes 4 or 5, and those things are going to happen. You got to be able to overcome that, and those 2 guys really made a difference for their team.
Well, it was a tough way to end the week for Fort Hays State as they fall at home to Lindenwood. Now the Tigers on the road for a pair at Emporia State on Wednesday, and then traveling to Topeka to take on Washburn Saturday. We'll talk about it next right here on Tiger Talk.
We're proud to have Secor Technology Solutions as a part of our Eagle Communications family. We are dedicated to providing homes and businesses with cost-effective IT services. support, and products all under one roof, like
network support, computer repair, virus and spyware removal,
data recovery and cloud backup,
email support,
screen repair.
And above all, you can count on technology done right. Call us at 785-628-1330.
Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Final segment here on Tiger Talk. Gerard Walbrock, men's coach Mark Johnson, brought to you by Mocha's Coffee, Bakery, and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and of course by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes. The taste that brings you back. 2 road games this week for Fort Hays State. Before we get into that, Trey O'Neill, a guy who's starting to emerge a little bit. I think 4 straight games in double figures now. He's been playing a little more point guard at times, but for whatever reason, he's been a little more consistent on the offensive end here the last couple of weeks.
He really has. He's started to play well. You look at two young guys you think that have really kind of made some jumps and some strides with their confidence and in turn their play on the court is Brady Worth and Trey O'Neill. Trey O'Neill's now starting to play. I think it's for the last 4 or 5 games, he's double figures. The big thing with Trey is consistently shooting, being able to shoot the ball. He's got to be more consistent. He's getting there. He works hard at it. I think moving him to the point guard at times with Aaron getting hurt has helped him. I think he's a momentum shooter. He's better off the bounce. He can get his momentum, where he struggles a little bit is those standstill shots. But he's gaining some confidence and playing well.
You touched on it after the game with Rob Davis. I mean, he got his 24 on Thursday and then only 7 on Saturday, and he's put in a lot of minutes. I guess probably the challenge from here on out is finding ways to keep him fresh because you're going to need him here for this final month.
Yeah, and we don't have very many guys to practice right now with those 2 guys getting hurt for the year, and then we have one of our red shirts had mono and he's sick, so our numbers are thin, so it's hard. So there's not a lot of rest to be able to sit on the side and practice, and that's something we're trying to make sure we monitor and do the best job we can because there's that fine line between getting stale and not being in the rhythm or flow of the game by practicing every day, but also not being too physically tired mentally and physically to go out there and play. So that's kind of a balance we're trying to work on in practice.
Emporia State Wednesday. It wasn't pretty in Hayes when you played them the first time. In fact, 2 years in a row they've gotten you at the Coliseum. Last year you rebounded, got a big win there. Hopefully you can do that again on Wednesday. But obviously a much better Emporia State team. They're coming off a loss, but have been playing some pretty good basketball.
Yeah, I think if you looked when they started the conference season, this was going to be our most challenging week. 2 good teams on the road. It seemed like our other road games, Pitt, is struggling a little bit. We had opportunity even the Northwest Western. Western is having their challenges as well. But you look, these are the first time on the road we're playing 2 very good teams, and we had a great performance at home to beat Washburn. Obviously, Emporia got us pretty good here, so it'll be challenging. We're going to have to find a way to play better against Emporia than we did here. Their overall size is hard for us, and the fact that their centers aren't big, but they play a lot of 6'5", 6'6" guys across the board. They can switch all of our stuff. Our smaller guards are kind of outsized, so will be a difficult matchup. And then Washburn, when they're playing well, making shots, probably outside of Northwest, they're as good as anybody in our conference.
Look at Emporia, maybe don't get enough credit. They're as athletic, I think, as anybody in the conference. You break it down position by position.
Well, that's why they can switch because they all are around the same size. They're all good athletes. There's, for us at times, it's a hard matchup for us to make switches and do things on ball screens. Even the other night against Lindenwood, we really don't have that 6'5" guy or 6 guy that could handle number 10's ability off the bounce. Emporia has about 5 or 6 of those guys that they can just interchange, and they're probably the most versatile team because of it.
Nope, we'll see what happens. Should be always fun. Rivalry week. Tigers at Emporia Wednesday, and then Washburn on Saturday night. Coach, as always, we appreciate the time. We'll see you Wednesday at Emporia.
All right, thanks, Gerard.
That's head coach Mark Johnson of the Tigers. Again, 5:30, 7:30 on Wednesday from White Auditorium, 5 and 7 on Saturday from Lee Arena in Topeka. Program brought to you as always by Hayes Men Orthopedic Institute, The Taco Shop, G&L Tire and Automotive, Golden Bell Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, Barron and Ball, Couture for Men and Women, BTI, Horizon Appliance and Electronics, and of course Mocha's Coffee, Bakery and Bistro, 27th and Indian Trail, and Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, North Vine and Hayes, the taste that brings you back. If you missed any portion of the program, you can always catch it online, hayespost.com, and of course the video replay on Eagle Cable's channel 14 and 614 at 10 and 7 on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to wrap up the program. For Coach Tony Hobson and Mark Johnson, this is Gerard Walbrock. So long, everyone.
We get it. You work hard and play hard. Internet should be the last thing slowing you down. Eagle Communications gives you the speed you need so you can play hard and save cash. For a limited time, get 30 meg for $30 or 50 meg for $50 so you can work, play, and save. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.